Hello and welcome. My name is Anastasia Zatula. I'm a Reiki Master, NLP Master, and in these videos I'm sharing my insights throughout my traveling. Only for the traveling that I did this year. As you know, I traveled this almost whole year. I stayed in some countries for a month, sometimes a little longer, and I wanted to give my insights, energetic insights on the countries that I stayed in. Again, these are not going to be insights like the best restaurant to go to, the best hotel to stay. This is not really my expertise. I'm sharing what I want to share about the energy of the country, of the collective subconscious in that country, maybe even of the continent. Now, I went to quite a few countries. Some of them I went a couple times, some of them I went only once, and most of them were in European kind of neighborhood. So because most of them were in Europe, they all had some kind of similarities. The biggest insight that I had is basically, if you're too grounded, you really feel secure and good in your present, but you don't really dream, you could not fly. It's like you're giving up on dreams, somewhat like that. So this is I also want to mention before we start that I'm obviously not offending any countries, at least I don't mean it, and I'm only sharing the energetic insights that I had. And insight is something that is inside of me, but it was brought to light with the different experience. So I am obviously grateful to all the countries for bringing these insights in me, and for me to be able to share them with you. Now, if you will ask me whether I will go to all these countries again, I gladly will. I mean, maybe I will structure my experience a little different, but I still will gladly visit. I love them all. So I'm sharing the energetic insights. If you have any, please do share them with me. I would really want to compare. Now, how do I get those insights? Because I'm a Reiki master, I feel the energy around me. I feel the energy really, I feel the energy that's in the nature. I feel the energy that's in people. So if I don't socialize with people, I don't really feel the energy, but I feel the energy in the collective subconscious. So, for example, like around full moon, I can be a little anxious because everybody else is in the building. If I'm in a big building with a lot of people, that could be the reason. So these are I will give you my insights, and who knows, they might open something in you. I would though recommend everybody to do travel. Traveling is amazing and great. It expands you, it increases your energy of air. If you don't have much, like I don't have none, that's the best way probably to do it. Now, if you obviously could not afford either money or time, I mean, some people are employed. I'm fortunate that I was able to take this time off for myself and travel and work from anywhere. But I understand if somebody could not do that, you can travel, like on the weekends, just go to a neighboring city or maybe state or fly somewhere that's not too far. So this is a good way to expand. Now, also, we have aura, right? So we have energy fields and aura, and that aura is influenced by the outside. So when you're traveling, your aura is somewhat changes little by little. Ideally, as I said in the previous video, your aura should stay the same. So no matter where you are, no matter who you socialize with, no matter whether you are in a super luxurious place or super poor place, your aura should stay the same, but a little bit from the outside it will be influenced. And if you need some kind of new energy, some kind of influence, it would be a good way. That's why people feel amazing when they travel. They get this new experience, they feel lighter, they feel more inspired. So I do recommend you to travel, and I do recommend to observe yourself when you're traveling. Now, why did I had insights from this traveling? Because for the most part, I was traveling by myself, except for a couple countries, and I also stayed in every country for some time. So it wasn't like 5 days trip and I had to see a whole bunch of things. For the most part, I was staying and I was experiencing, I was feeling the energy. I had time to listen to myself, to my body, and to the energy around me. Now, so let's start. The next country. So I did, if you are interested, I did Italy, Serbia and Russia in the first part. The second part was Turkey, Greece and Montenegro, and in this part I will talk about Albania, Czech Republic and Mexico. Now this is the countries I visited this year. I mean, obviously there are more countries I visited, but I'm talking only about this year. Maybe, who knows, maybe if you would be curious, I will make about different countries, but there were a lot of countries that I went and I was not yet a Reiki master. I was not even Reiki practitioner, so it was not I didn't really exactly feel. I had insights, but it wasn't really the energetic insights. Okay, so let's go to Albania. Now, Albania is a very interesting country. Obviously, it's in the Balkans, and I was somewhat excited to see it because I knew some Albanians in New York when I lived in New York, quite a few of them. I had some really good friends from Albania, so I was curious to see what is that country is about. And after Serbia and Montenegro and Greece, it was like another country in the Balkans that I wanted to see. And but Albania is a tough country, but it's not tough as you would think. It's really maybe it just teaches you to be a little stronger. So the first insight is confidence is the key to success. Really, I think this is the only country where I was admiring the people around me. They were very confident, whether they spoke English or not. They basically just speaking as they felt and it was coming off really good. They were very confident about what they were offering. They were very confident about the particular prices they were giving, and they didn't even blink twice. Now, don't confuse. Last time I was talking about Montenegro, and in Montenegro people are very they're very sure of themselves. Now, Albanians are not very sure about themselves, but they're confident about what they're offering. So you see, they believe if they have an apartment on the beach, that apartment is worth the same money as, let's say, an apartment in Miami. And obviously it's not. I mean, it's a beautiful place, it's a beautiful little town, it's a beautiful sea, but I mean, there is a limit. But they were so confident. Because they were confident, I was kind of buying into that confidence as well. So, and I admire that, because we all can use a little boost of confidence here and there. So I admire it because I can use some of that confidence as well. Doesn't mean that I'm not confident. I am confident, and I probably wouldn't want to be as delusionally confident as them, but good confidence is it's like really inspiring, and it really can move you forward in life very fast. So that was the first one. The second one is people around us are helping us to develop. They are not enemies. Now, if you ever been to Albania, or if you socialize with Albanian people, you know that they come off a little aggressive. And me being from Eastern Europe, I mean, maybe even I come a little aggressive sometimes. But Albanians were on the other level. I mean, they were really aggressive, but I think they were the nicest people. They would jump in to help, even when I'm not even asking to help. I think that was my insight. Very like within a few days, I understand that people are not really here to discourage me or to spoil my experience. They're here to help me if I only will allow them to help. If I only will open my aura, my energy for them to come in and help. And that was really good insight, because the rest of the time there I really did open up and I allowed them to contribute. It was good for them, it was good for me, it was good for everybody. So but this insight is really helpful, because throughout life, and I know this from myself, from my friends and from my clients, that sometimes they believe that somebody wishes them bad, or somebody wishes them harm, or somebody wants to hurt them. But for the most part, people are phantoms and they only reflect us. When I was going to Albania, I was not sure. I had a rented car from another country. I was scared, I was skeptical, I was very worried, I was somewhat even anxious, and they really basically threw me into the fire. They basically didn't give me a chance to sit over there in my fears and allow them to grow. I had to just basically push my fears aside and embrace where I was and who I was with. So, and I'm glad that happened in my life. It is the same way, because I'm introverted. Sometimes maybe I feel like, does this person want to say something? I mean, are they not liking something? Like I could be a little suspicious. But for the most part, people are just showing me that me and everybody else, that where we need to grow and progress. Once I become confident and strong, and I mean, Albanians loved me as I think everybody else, but still. And the next one is go into your fears, act on them, and this is the instant way to develop. I think from all the countries, Albania was the country. If I told you Greece was the country that changed me hugely, my energy for sure, but Albania was the one that was really fast growing like this. I mean, I think I was changing levels so fast I couldn't even I couldn't even ground those changes. I remember after Albania I came to Czech Republic, and I was like, it was for 3 days I was just sitting there like in a trance like this. So what I want to say is that I always tell myself and my clients and everybody else, you need to go into your fears. Only if you will go they're saying everything you want is on the other side of your fear. And this is absolutely true. If you are not going to go into your fears, if you will not overcome those worries, you will lose so much in life experience. The first a while back, a few years ago, I was visiting UK and I rented a car. And as you know, in UK they drive on opposite side. It's very strange, and the wheel is on the other side too. It's very unusual. And I remember the first time I I was like, I definitely overestimated my talents, because it was really, really very very nerve-breaking. But I went into my fear because I had the reservation in another city, so I had to drive there. I had to bring that car there, and then I had to bring the car back somehow. So I went into my fear, and yes, I was sweating, yes, it was this, but by the time I returned the car back, I was a new person. I was a completely different person, like sure and confident, and I was not afraid to meet the challenges that were obviously as I was driving. You know, I always wanted to turn on the other way, to be on the other side of the road. So Albania really showed me that going into fears will bring new experiences, and it really did. You couldn't imagine. I mean, from socializing with people that didn't look very friendly, to trying some kind of new places, or going into new towns, new cities. Even I remember we went to a new city, and I parked the car in a parking garage. I paid really the amount of money that I would probably pay in Manhattan, and for the parking. And I asked, is the beach very close? And he said, yeah, it's right down. But it was not right down. The beach was like a couple miles away. And so I came back, and I was like, you have to give me the money back because there is no beach. And he gave without even without anything, without arguing, without anything. So what I want to say is that Albania showed me energetically that I am very powerful, and I just need to overcome my fears and some kind of worries. I just need to go straight into those fears and face them like this, and just go through them. That's another one. And the last one, well, for today, focus on good, so more good will come. This is awesome. There was a breaking point in Albania for me, and I understand no country could be bad or good. I mean, there must be good and bad in everything. So I started focusing only on good, and my God, our experience went from here to over here really, really fast. And really, I mean, if you've been to Albania, you know the food is amazing, not very expensive. I mean, the beaches, if you like the sea, are very, very calm. The sunset, if you watch my Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. So and history, my God, this was like, for me, I never knew that Albania has so much Roman history, like ancient Greek history in Albania. So but there were a lot, and I never saw so much untouched history in my life. In my experience in Albania was really amazing. What I want to say is that it was my choice to focus on what was going wrong, or focus on something that was going good, and I forced myself to switch the focus. I remember when it happened, and I remember it was morning, and I was just laying in bed. My sister was cooking breakfast, and I was like, okay, today is going to be a different day. And I was creating the feelings that I wanted to experience, and it did really went different. So that was for Albania. Let's go to Czech Republic. Now, Czech Republic is the country that I never been before as well, and I wanted to see it. It's somewhat opposite to Albania, but I still wanted to. I was curious about this country. I heard a lot of good about this country, so I stayed the whole month in Prague. I didn't travel to other cities, but I think, I mean, this is what I felt in Prague. This is what I felt, and what the energy was. Now, the first one that really hit me, really, like something that I saw constantly throughout my trip, and I think I felt it. I felt it even from when I got into the car at the taxi at the airport. I felt it. So, avoiding present through alcohol or any other momentarily fixes won't make it any more exciting. And I'm not sure whether I asked a couple people who were in Czech Republic as well, and they agree with me. You see, sometimes you're not happy with yourself, and you don't know what to do. You feel like, okay, let me let me go have something sweet, or let me go have a coffee, or let me have a drink or something. So all of this, yeah, it alters your energy for a period of time, but it will not fix the issue. If I'm unhappy, I'm unhappy. I need to fix the issue. Why I'm unhappy? Why there is no excitement in my life? Instead of me looking for a short-term solution of how to maybe take my attention off that unhappiness. You see. And I noticed that, and I have friends that travel extensively in Europe, and they say that a lot of places in Europe are like this. So this is what I noticed in Prague, and and the people that I socialized there with, the alcohol or any kind of like temporary fixes will not fix your life. You had to face your reality and face why you're unhappy, what is lacking in your life. This was my insight. And why did it came up? Because maybe I also sometimes feel like that. Maybe I feel like something could be better, but I have to face this. I have to face it, and I have to fix the problem instead of going and buying that sweet dough with the ice cream and something. So that was the first one. It really opened my eyes on that. And the second one was grounding keeps you safe but doesn't allow you to fly too high. This is not the first time I mentioned this, but I think Prague was really deep in that. You see, if in Turkey people are grounded but they still make some kind of movements, I believe that in Prague people were just like grounded, and that's it. Like I did everything I could, let me just be like a tree, like a whole bunch of little bushes, and that's obviously not right, because we have to progress, we have to move forward. Now, on the other hand, grounding gives you the security, gives this feeling of absolute, like it's like your whole life, you know how it will be, you're secure about everything. And I felt like this, I really did, I felt very secure and very grounded in my life. I knew exactly where I'm going. I knew how it's going to be. I knew how I wanted to develop. Now, like I knew how much I'm going to spend, I knew how much I'm going to make. It's like it was very clear in my head, you see. Yeah, I was not dreaming about hitting the lotto big like I do in United States, and I play, I mean, I don't even think they play lotto there, maybe they do. But the whole point was that you feel really good. You don't feel like you need to be extra to fit in the society and in the life that you're leading right now. And that's very comforting, you know, because even if, you see, throughout my whole life, I always want to progress, as it should be. We should grow. But sometimes when you're constantly wanting to better off yourself, at one point you're like exhausted and like, enough is enough. And in Prague, I felt like it was just good to be. It was good to just enjoy the moment, to enjoy, not enjoy like I was in Italy, but just be, and not running nowhere, not rushing, not trying to do something extra. And it was a good feeling. So there was another one. Another one is simplicity doesn't always mean greatness. Sometimes it means lack of interest to yourself. And again, I asked a few of my friends that were visiting too, and they all agree with me. You see, I think sometimes people are so much want to project a simple life on themselves that they completely forget that simplicity doesn't mean carelessness. You know, no, simplicity doesn't mean greatness. It means just like that you don't care much, and that's what I noticed. I didn't. Don't take me wrong. I mean, I love the city. The energy overall is very peaceful, very calm, very maybe like avoidant somewhat. But I noticed that people there don't really care. And I was in Prague. This is like a capital, right? They really don't care of their presentation. And sometimes, yeah, maybe you are not presenting yourself. Maybe that's not as important as what is inside of you. But truly, you couldn't, like, there is a degree to where you can just let yourself go. I mean, you could not just completely forget about yourself. I mean, there is a reason why we kind of care about ourselves, right? About our bodies. So that's what I felt. I felt that simplicity in their case, in the case in Czech Republic, is just basically a sign of not caring about yourself at all. And I was not to offend the Czech people, but that's basically what I saw. I saw that people were just like, they really didn't care about themselves, and I felt it in the energy, unfortunately. Now, outside does not always match the inside. Don't believe everything you see. And I think Prague was like an Instagram. You know, it's so beautiful outside. You walk around. I mean, the streets are so clean. The parks are so perfect. I mean, the buildings are just all like this beautiful picture. But you go inside, and unless it's some kind of old building, but there is like some old decorations. For the most part, they're very, very blah. like I think the simplest and the most blah building and apartment I was staying, and I was not staying in some kind of cheap place. I mean, I was staying in a really nice place, but it was in Prague now, and it was not just my place. I mean, I rent places from Airbnb and Booking, and I was looking through a whole bunch of them, and they all were like this. They were just like nothing, you know. Right? Like right now I'm in Mexico in a beautiful building. You don't see them, but there is like really nice decor everywhere. I mean, it's really like the thought was put in here. And I understand that in Prague it was not, because I visited a couple people, plus I went to a couple hotels to work from, and here and there, and I understand that outside facade is beautiful, but inside it does not always represent. Doesn't mean that it's not good. I mean, if you know me, you know I'm all for simplicity. I don't like a lot of dust collectors. In Italy there were a lot of them, like too much, but they were given character, you see, and but this was just too empty, too nothing. And I understand, and I even spoke to one of my clients, and I told her not everything is like you see it on Instagram or anywhere else. So when somebody's telling you something, it doesn't mean that the life is exactly like that. It could be just like Prague. It's all beautiful, all like, I mean, if you've been to Prague, you know what I'm talking about. Just amazing. Every street is like a postcard, but inside it's just nothing really. So, but it was inside. Obviously, I'm so grateful. I will go back to Czech Republic and will visit other cities. It's really, really beautiful. But these are my insights, my energetic insights. The energy in Prague was too grounded. I think from all my countries, it was the most grounded energy, to the point that it was not, that it's like not moving at all. Like it was just dead. Like in Greece, energy was heavy. But it was heavy kind of like with the misery and the anger sometimes, with the heaviness from, you know, but it was not, it was still moving. In Prague, the energy was just standing still, you know, and because it's staying still, I mean, energy needs to move, you can't just let it stay. And I think the movements of the energy was coming from the tourists. I think a lot of people from other European countries come to Czech Republic. So that's basically it. Again, not to offend anybody, that's how I felt, that's what I was reading from the collective subconscious. It's like I felt maybe that somewhat like people were just giving up. That's how I felt. Again, I might be mistaken, you know, maybe this is their lifestyle. And the last country, Mexico. I didn't come to Mexico after Czech Republic. I went to Serbia again, and then I went to Italy. So Serbia, Italy, and then Turkey, and then I went to Mexico. But I'm here, and this is my second month, and this is not my first time in Mexico, obviously. I lived in New York, so I used to come to Mexico every winter for at least a week. But this is my first time staying in Playa del Carmen and staying like a person in the apartment. You know, like not in the resort where everything is catered to you, but in the apartment where I have to go to the stores, socialize with people. I have to buy my own, you know, fruits, order water, and be like socializing with people, experiencing the city, experiencing the culture as much as you can experience the culture in Playa del Carmen. But Mexico has a special spot in my heart, and I will tell you why. This particular part of Mexico is between my two lines, the Saturn and the Sun, and these are my money planets. And I always wanted to see how I would feel. It was my first like really, really wealthy, well, I wouldn't say boyfriend, but my really, really wealthy admirer I met here in Cancun long time ago. It's not my goal. I didn't come here to hunt for a potential boyfriend. No, not really. I came here because it's close to Miami. That's my home. I'm going there. And I always wanted to stay here because so many people are talking about Playa del Carmen. So many people are coming for the winter to Miami, people from Canada, from US, and I always wanted to see what is the hype about. So I came here, and I'm glad. I really do enjoy the time here, and I will give you the insights that I have so far. I've been here over a month, so I think I can tell you what my insights are. The first, so Mexico is a different energy now. It is energy of, especially Cancun, it's energy of water. Now, because it's energy of water, it's somewhat like me. It's flexible, you know, it gives pleasure, but it wants something back, like that. It's not Europe. Europe is very grounded. Now, the rest of Mexico, especially on the mainland, is earth too, but it has water as well. And you can feel it. So the first insight is you can only give as much as you have inside, and you shouldn't be pushing yourself to give more. Give what you have, and just be satisfied with that. And that's Mexico like really, really showed it to me, because you see, because this place is an energy of water. Energy of water has no borders. If you will give $10, $15, $20, $30, $50, it will be taken and taken and taken, because it's just normal. It doesn't see any problem in that. But you can only give as much as you can. Otherwise, you shouldn't give more, because you will be exhausted. And I think this is a good lesson for a lot of people, because like me, for example, I I'm empathetic, right? So sometimes I give to people more, like really a lot, and then I get exhausted. That's why I don't do consultations for more than 3 hours. I mean, it's very rarely when I do 4 hours or 5 hours, like really desperate case. I don't schedule too many consultations in the same time. So I always limit of how much I can give. I can give as much as I have inside, and if I don't have inside nothing, what I'm going to give. So Mexico really like throw it into my face very, very fast. Now another one is, nobody can take anything from you unless you allow it. People feel your soft boundaries. It is your job to make sure they're present and visible. You see, I was talking about this in the video that I posted, energy vampires and how to protect them, and I said that nobody can breach your aura, nobody can just grab your energy. You allow that energy, and it's up to you to, you know, to present yourself in the way that people know that there's that much that they can cross, that much they can take. And Mexico is Playa Carmen especially was that. I felt that in before here, but still you need to have soft boundaries. You can't be mean. Mexicans overall, they're very friendly, very respectful, very kind people, so you cannot be mean. Like in Europe you can be mean and they will be mean back to you, but in Mexico that won't slide. I mean, people here are very nice, and that's why, but you need to have the boundaries so they know when they can cross and they could not cross. Like, I will give an example. I live on Fifth Avenue, is like one block from me, and the Fifth Avenue is a very busy street. There's a lot of people, they're offering a lot of services, they're calling you into the restaurants. I mean, it's just this high place. You have to see it. And you know, I can't really avoid it. I live right here, so I walk on it sometimes. And sometimes when I'm not in a, like, rarely, but sometimes when it's very hot and I feel tired and I'm like a little low, people like non-stop come, you know, have a dinner here, or do you want to go to Cozumel or something, you know. They always try to kind of, and it irritates me more. And I notice myself, you know, you need to step away from this, you need to get yourself back into you know, make your aura strong and then go back. But sometimes when I'm really strong, I walk and nobody even approaches me like 3 meters away from me, nobody. And I see they're all looking, but they will not approach. So this is a good practice camp to practice your boundaries, really. I had a little bit something like that in Turkey, because over there in some like touristic places they also could be a little too much. But what I want to say is that a person will never approach you unless you really allow. And to tell you more, I was actually thinking, is it just me or others feel the same way? So I actually took a coffee and I was sitting in one of the cafes and I was observing other people walking, and I could tell you, I knew why some people will approach and some will not. Like, and you would say, well, maybe they approach particular, like, I don't know, white people or drunk people or families, you know, if they want to take them on a tour or something like that. No, it was not. It was absolutely sporadic. But I know why some people were approached and some were not, because some people were, the energy was like this all over the place, you know, and so they were easy targets. It was easy to penetrate their energy and to convince them into something. So that was my insight. I was sitting in there and I had like this, like I couldn't believe myself. I was really observing people and I felt those people really put a lot of effort into this insight. And another one is lowering your standards and energy level is not the experience, it's disservice to yourself. Now that might sound a little arrogant, but it's not. So let me repeat it. Lowering your standards is not an experience, it's a disservice to yourself. You see, no matter where I'm traveling, I always stay in a particular places with the particular services. I'm not a snob. I just know where my standard is, and if I will lower that standard, I won't be of help to nobody, not even to myself. So some people might be different. Like if I would have a lot of masculine energy, I might that would not really affect me. I wouldn't mind maybe to go and sleep in a tent or whatever. But I don't know, or living in some other kind of conditions. But that will not help me, that will not help anybody. You see, I need to be in a place where I feel secure, where there is somewhat modern kind of appliances, modern everything, modern furniture. Like this building is brand new, I think. Where there is strong internet, you know, where I can really feel myself. There is a pool, there is a concierge, there is security. So if I would choose to stay somewhere in somebody's home far away, I would not be happy, because there are particular standards and there is no point for me to lower them just so I will feel myself more Mexican. It's not an experience. This is just so let's imagine I'm staying somewhere in somebody's home, you know, renting a little studio in their big house. I mean, I would probably be complaining non-stop about the loud music, about not a very good internet, about dogs barking, about this and that. And I see that. I mean, I'm looking on Airbnb, I see all these complaints from people. So sometimes, I mean, don't try to become like others. Just be true to yourself, stay where you belong, and that's it. And don't make all this fuss. Because I see, I mean, they put in all these reviews. I chose this apartment because I wanted to experience Mexican life, but the dogs kept me awake all night and this, and I'm like, well, why did you choose that experience? I mean, you could have stayed closer to the center, and I mean, still dogs, but still. What I want to say is that don't try to assimilate yourself to something that is not your standard. Don't think that you are a snob just because you don't want to experience something that you don't want to experience. For example, when I lived in New York, I never ate from those carts. You know, there's like these carts that stand on the corners. They making hot dogs, or sometimes they make rice and some kind of food. I never ate from that. It was not my standard. I didn't believe that it was clean enough. I mean, yeah, maybe I sound like a snob, but this was in New York, in a big city, and I still would never eat there because it was not my standard. So it's not particular country. It's really everywhere. Just stick to your standards. You know, experience a little bit. Yeah, I love to go eat tacos here and there, but that's pretty much it. You know, I would not. I speak Spanish a little bit. That's for the most part. I love avocados, but you know, there is a limit to my standards as well. And in Mexico, I recognized and I accepted. You see, I was a little ashamed. I felt like maybe I'm a little snob. You know, why I'm acting like this? But I always was like this since childhood, and I was born in a village. So, but still, since I was born in a village, doesn't mean that I didn't like nicer things in life. And I'm grateful to my parents that we really had a nice house in the village, and we had all the amenities that were possible, you know, in the city and in the village. So what I want to say, that it really showed me that, Anastasia, just be true to yourself. Don't pretend something you are not, and just accept it. Accept that you are high maintenance and that you need to have everything, including running AC all the time. And I'm grateful. This maybe for the first time I'm really admitting this to you, that I'm a little snob. And one more: do not have expectations. This I had with Mexico before. Actually, I would say that this is an insight from all my travels. You see, we associate particular experiences with particular countries. Not only with traveling, but we associate particular experience with particular people. We associate, like, I have friends with whom I know I'm going to be brainstorming now, I'm going to be super inspired. Then I have friends with whom I'm just, let's go try a new restaurant. You know, there's no inspiration. There's just some new food and just talking about nothing. Then I have friends that we don't even talk, and we're so cool, like just sit there quietly and enjoying each other's company. And I have men that are also very different. So we have expectations based on our past experiences. Now, when you go into something with an expectation, you might get disappointed. and the people here in Mexico showed me, not only Mexicans actually, a lot of expats that are living here, they showed me that expectations sometimes are not really the way to go through life, because with expectations you're constantly waiting for something, and if you don't have expectations, you are enjoying what is right now. And I think only here I really kind of understood that, realized that doesn't mean that you should live just like with no plan, with no kind of no schedule, nothing. It's kind of a little hard, especially I'm working, you know. I have certain obligations like everybody, so obviously I have future plans. So, but not to have. But if I would constantly expect something from somebody, I would put a huge energetic pressure. If I would have an expectation on the building, on the people, on the something, on the city, I mean, the city would feel that pressure from me and will not be as eager to deliver as I would. And I realized that when I ordered water, and I'm a punctual person kind of. So if somebody is telling me I'm going to bring you water at 4 p.m, I'm kind of expecting that water at 4 p.m. So when somebody is bringing me water at 6, I'm like already on edge. But why? I mean, why couldn't I just enjoy my time? I mean, I'm still at home. It's not like I'm like I have to get back from work or something. I'm at home and I can just enjoy my time. So I was kind of angry with the guy that was bringing me water. But then one day he came earlier. He came not at 4, but he came much earlier than 4, and I was not home. So I was now it was his time. It was his turn to be mad at me, and he wasn't mad. He's like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. I will wait for you." So he waited for me for like 25 minutes, and he was cool. He was not angry. He was not, and I understand. He is so happy and so glad and so cheerful because he has no expectations like I have. And yeah, of course, maybe I wouldn't be able to live like that if I would have to wait for somebody for 25 minutes. I would go crazy, especially if I'm just like outside the building. But to lower little expectations would also do good for my life. So that was it for Mexico. I hope I will have new insights. I'm still staying here for a little bit. I hope that I will do. I hope my videos inspired you to travel, and not only to travel, but to listen to yourself while you're traveling. It is very important to observe how you feel in places. Like not long time ago, but like a few years back, I was in Spain, and I really liked the islands of Spain. But the mainland of Spain, I felt like this anxiety, this anxiousness in the air, you know. And at that time I was still drinking alcohol, but I wasn't drinking much. But I noticed that in Spain I would drink every evening because otherwise I wouldn't go to sleep. So I hope to inspire you to listen to yourself, to feel how you feel in particular places, to notice how you feel in those places. Maybe you have insights. There are insights everywhere. If I will go back to all the countries I traveled, I probably, I'm sure I had insights from all of them. But there must be insights that teach you something. You see, all of this, yeah, there were maybe painful insights somewhat, but they did show me and taught me something, and I was able to overcome my expectations, my beliefs, and just embrace something new in my life. Now, if you have a lot of energy of air, you wouldn't have this kind of insights. You probably, for the most part, because you wouldn't really care about things that I care about. You wouldn't even be hanging in the situations as much as I do. But if you have energy of fire, you would be mostly on the experiences. You would not listen or think about any kind of insights as well. But I do encourage you, if you have an opportunity to travel, learn something, write down the insights that come up to you. It is important. I actually wrote them down. I wasn't going to make any kind of videos. I thought I will put them on Instagram, like just put some pictures from every country and just put some my insights. but I thought that I will do these videos because some of you are asking me about, you know, what do you feel, how is the energy there, do you feel like it's abundant or not abundant. I will tell you, why I think United States is still the country for me is because it is very much like me. You see, I am very positive, I am very optimistic, and I like that. I like not to be too grounded in the present. Yes, grounding in the present is good, but you need to believe in something better. You need to believe that there could be something better in your life overall. So this is what my insight is, the biggest one. Now, on the other hand, in Europe, I feel much more secure than in the United States. Or in Russia, two of my countries, and that's how I feel. I felt like in Europe, I felt like I could really control the life around me, but that life would be somewhat a little boring maybe for me. So I do hope all of you will do some kind of I hope this videos helps you, and I hope that when you will travel, you will have your own insights. If you have any insights, any different insights than mine, if you have any thoughts on what I spoke, I mean, I would gladly would love to hear from you, would love to discuss more on that. So anyways, I will see you in the next video. That's it on the traveling insights. Let's get back to feminine energy and to the relationship to energy. But I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment, like, follow, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everybody.